So guys, today we are taking a look at Si Woo Kim's swing, the recent winner of the Players' Championship. Fantastic swing. We're going to take a look and see what you can learn from that. So this is a driver swing from a couple of weeks earlier out on tour, and you can see here just how much rotational speed he has got, and it really is so dynamic, that move. You can see that the body's rotating around. There's just a lot of natural speed in there. He's obviously not a massive guy. He's like 5'10", 5'11", but he absolutely murders the ball. So what we're going to do is take a look at what you guys can take out of this swing, but also what makes this swing tick. Okay, so first thing is, well, let's pull a couple of swings up recently. So he's working with Sean Foley. So Sean's just out of shot there on the right hand side of the screen. So he has been working with Sean on his game. So what we're going to do is see what we can kind of have a look at here overall in his motion. So from down the line here with the iron on the left hand side of the screen, great posture. So this is something that you see in all of the guys generally these days. They all set up to amazing. So this obviously gives them the foundation to be able to move the arms, the body and the club really, really nicely. One little side note, left hand grip's a little tiny bit weak here. Okay, so maybe that's just something obviously of what he chooses to have. Maybe it's something for his shot pattern, who knows. But right, first move here, classic one-piece modern takeaway from the ball there. We can see that the golf club is just a perfect extension of the belly button here. That meaning that the engine, which is the trunk, so the shoulders are unwinding back at the same time as the hips are also beginning to wind up, and the club is an extension of the centre of his body. From here, we'll see that he starts to set the club up, and at the top here, zero hip restriction. So if you're thinking about some power in your swing, okay, first thing to understand here is this guy absolutely murders it. He's not massive, but he hasn't restricted his hips here, and he's obviously created a big turn. So restricting hips isn't necessary for creating power. What else we'll see is left shoulder starts to stretch across, loaded nicely, but we've got lots of width here and a very, very strong, stable base. So the legs have obviously allowed him to use the ground, so he's using that out ground to be able to coil. The weight's moving into that right heel, but you can see here just how much those hips have turned. Now, here's one of the key bits. What he does is that lower body separates pretty early in that transition, but that is then giving him the speed through the upper body, and then that allows him to lag the club in. But that speed is all coming from that midsection. So we can see right here how the centre of the body, so from around the hips and the trunk goes first. This delays the club in through here, and then he simply unwinds around with that body. But he is also perfectly in synchronization. So what we mean in here is, as he starts to get this towards the top of the backswing, we can see as that shoulder stops, so too does the club. And then we can already start to see that left knee is starting to re-rotate as the pressure is going through it, while look before those shoulders start to move. But the great thing is, from down the line, when we have a look at this, he has got so much room right here. And when I'm talking about room, I'm talking this huge triangular daylight in front of his body, where his left arm is out in front. So he's got tons of room there. And then what happens is that daylight continues. So when golf shaft gets back to parallel to the floor, loads of space, arms are very much in front of the body. Then he unwinds around. So that means that the butt of the club starts to move around with the body rotation, around in this direction here, with that body turn. That is moving around, and that you can see there has been zero slowing down and stopping of that body. So the body is the engine that is firing the club through, and everything is perfectly matched to that pivot. So in terms of being able to provide power, but also hitting it a long way, but also actually getting a lot of accuracy, he's obviously really well matched, but there's a lot of speed coming from that engine, which is the center of the body. So what we're going to do is we're going to go outside, and we are going to take a look at what elements you can take from this swing and start to apply to your game to hopefully be able to get you a little bit more power and a little bit more consistency. So we're going to see what you can apply to your swing from Siwoo's game. So what the first thing is you can see it's very, very wide and synchronized. So we want to make sure that as you're rotating your shoulders back, that you've got plenty of width. So a key to width is right palm pressure at the top, making sure that I was pushing against the left thumb. That will enable you to generate the width here at the top, which is the distance between kind of the right shoulder and the hands. So you want to be nice and wide, and also making sure that when that left shoulder stops, the club stops. So that's number one. The second one is the biggest difference between tour players and average amateurs from a 3D standpoint is that the tour players all start the downswing with the lower half first. Now, precursor, make sure you don't start that lower half whilst you're still moving backwards, because you're going to be trapped. What I mean by that is that before you've even finished going to the top, you started like this. That will mean that before you've even loaded the club, you are taking it to the top, and you start down here, and see how awfully trapped I am, and with no daylight in between my arms and my body. We had a look at the swing of Siwoo, we could see he had loads and loads of space. So what the key was is he had it wide and short here, and then from there he started that lower body early, so that left knee went while the short club was still slightly setting in, but he had all of this daylight in here with the arms in front of the body. So what the key is whilst you are still going to be wide at the top and in sync, it's going to be just as you're starting down, the left knee re-rotates towards the target this way, which initiates that change in direction. So the left knee will re-rotate this way towards the target, gets those arms in front in this direction, and then you can use that core to unwind around. And you could see he finished in great balance, and he's using the core rotation from the body to bring the arms up to the completed finishing position, and he's always using the body rotation. So the key to get the body power and speed is changing direction, synchronized at the top, then using the core to explode through with power. Hope you've learned some things here from his swing. I think he's swinging it fantastic. Will not be a surprise at all if he wins several more times. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do so. Got loads more great content coming forward. Thanks for watching, and talk with you again soon.